The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
WDC is now on your radio. Coming live from the Bay, yeah, that way. They talk sports all day, LA. Dropping knowledge, high school, college, trying to score play-by-play. NFL, NBA, NHL, that's right, you name it. They gon' bring it to you live. Talking sports and entertainment. From the famous and the, you name it. Cover all sports, from the football.
All right, good evening. Welcome to Sports Selective TV. I'm your host and moderator. I'm Farron, a.k.a. WDC. I want to thank you for listening in. As always, we have a very spectacular show for you right here on Morris Media Live, Mondays at 5 o'clock. Social media is at Sports Selective Media. Also on Facebook, same thing, Sports Selective Media. I have to acknowledge it is Veterans Day today. And so I want to thank all my veterans out there, especially if you are before me, like my man Caldwell. Thank you for paving the way for my career that I had and the stand that you took for our African-American soldiers. So again, we just want to thank all our veterans. I do have a segment coming up at the end. If you watched last week's segment, we did a conversation about objectification, and Caldwell hit some key points. So today we're going to talk more about that topic of objectification in sports and also in military as well today. Man, as far as the sports world, I mean, we just had Sunday Night Football. So I guess you could say Fredo's team, he's back there. The Minnesota Vikings won.
Yeah, we could just pass over that. All
yeah, I mean,
hey, wait a second. You know,
I just have to.
Can you hear me right now? I'm gonna get the mic.
Yeah.
But Don,
wait, I just got back.
you just got back, but I was watching something yesterday that reminded me about the time that you said the Rams.
Oh yeah, he's Rams.
Hey, they're not.
I told you. You're not gonna make
Who has a better record, them or the Chargers? It was between those two.
Chargers got 2 fans, and Rams got 4 fans. You know what I'm saying? They
But the Rams are still in the playoff hunt. A bunch of other people.
I'm trying to figure
They're in the
out-
wild card hunt.
What?
to make the playoff. 20%.
How much do the Chargers have? The Raiders are above them. Come on now.
Hey, but hold on. How does Ferran give up the Steelers beating with a backup quarterback?
I'm a fan of the game.
He
I don't have to brag about my team. I'll let you do that. You did it for me.
Thank you.
Hey, nobody can hear you, so
Yeah,
we're good. Nobody can hear you.
exactly.
He's gonna get the mic.
See what I'm saying? It's cool.
Now people can hear me.
Everybody acknowledges everybody on the deck.
You got a team?
No, I just watch them.
Just watch. Oh, is it a player? Okay, because there's a fanatic, right? We had this kind.
Right.
It's either you like the player or you like
Fan
a
of the
team.
game.
Are you a fan of the game? I don't like football. I like golf. I don't like golf. I like rugby. I mean, so what's happening?
Yeah,
Doc?
football I watch. Don't really have anybody that I'm too excited about. But basketball I follow players. So just because I played ball, so that was more of my thing.
They give me a hard time. They give me a hard time for that.
Oh, it's getting heated in here. It's getting heated.
They give me a hard time about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
You're
do. We
a Piston
do.
fan. You have to be following.
Well,
players,
hold
'cause you
on,
can't be
hold
more
on.
I was a Chauncey
Piston,
Billups fan.
Piston, Clippers.
Chauncey
the list,
Billups.
The list. He got a list of teams.
I follow
Is
Chauncey
Chauncey
How you
Billups.
get a
still with the
list?
Pistons?
You need a
They
PDF
beat the
file.
Lakers. What you talking about?
The Pistons?
Yes.
I'm talking about Chauncey Billups. Is he still with the Pistons?
Oh
Yeah,
no, he's
still
done.
around.
He's retired.
Is he even playing anything?
No.
other than
He's like
checkers?
80 years old. He's a commentator.
Commentator.
Commentator now.
He's chilling.
He's playing checkers,
The
man.
knees have talked long enough.
Anyway, that's the problem. They don't understand that you got to have a team.
You know, this whole talk about your top players and all that. So, who's your squad? If you got to put a squad together and you got these players,
You talking about old school? You talking about new?
hey, well, you know, if you want
Anytime or
okay,
current?
let's get old versus new. How about that? So they gonna play each other. How about that? 5-on-5.
So current versus old school.
His old school versus his new school.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. I like Pete Maravich as my guard. That was my boy I followed. I used to tear my socks up just to kind of look like him. Mom's buying new socks. She'd be like, wait a minute, what happened to those? I just bought them. I'm like, yo, I'm just going. So Pete would be my point. I'd probably put Wilt on the box. Put Big O in there. And see, who else could I put to the sides? Because I kind of would come into Jordan era.
90 areas. Okay, that's
to
you can
pull
go there.
in.
You can go there.
Because he went.
You could go there.
From Wilt, and then he,
Because Wilt was a dominant.
They
He
probably
was saying
would-
whale. He was saying whale.
Wilt
Whale.
and Shaq could go, head and head because Shaq was so dominant.
It was
because
only
of
one.
his
I
size.
can agree to that. There's
Wilt-
only one Wilt and there's only one Shaq.
Exactly.
no,
So them battling head to head, it would be like unfair to put them
Together.
on the same team, because nobody's gonna push them around.
That's 100 points plus.
Right.
It'd be like a 300 point
Well,
game.
Shaq is like the Wilt 2.0.
Who's your new school? I'm interested in that. Who's your current?
KD. That's gonna
That's
be
a good choice.
he's coming first for me. Kawhi
Okay.
would come up there, and
okay.
then I'd put Steph.
We're talking.
Steph
Oh,
as
man.
one of my guards, and
Because his son likes that.
no, I like Steph. I like Steph because he changed the way you look at the game. He pulled you further away because when I was playing, I tried to step back, and they was like, "No, you're too big. Get back inside. Get back inside." And that was annoying. And then and then Magic came. He was 6'8", 6'9", and they let him do it, but he still wasn't doing what Steph does, taking it way out. And now you don't have what center in the game is on the box. Every center is away from the box now. If you don't shoot a three, you don't play.
Especially over there.
No,
Anywhere.
yeah, exactly. You got to be able to shoot the
Anywhere,
ball.
just look at all the teams. What centers are down on the box besides Dwight Howard? Dwight Howard,
But isn't that
Yeah,
fair to
that's
say
too.
that, like, when you watch NCAAs and you watch pro basketball players, you see these trends in basketball in regards. It used to be two-man game. It used to be spread the floor. Let's swing the ball. Let's get the open look. You know what I'm saying? It used to be a slashing game. I think it all changes. I think that Steph Curry picked up, the antics now that you see now in NCAA. Now everybody just spreading the floor and they're just trying to dump the three. You know what I'm saying? But you live by the three, you die by the
that's
three.
what I
Well,
said.
Steph's
You know what
probably
I'm saying?
changed the game more than anybody in our generation as far as how the game's played because of the three-point shot. He changed the game more than LeBron since Jordan. So
I mean, because in our era, it was really about the big guy closest to the
close
basket.
to the bucket. Yep.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
the
shot a
automatic
three.
basket.
You shot a three if that was last resort almost.
Yeah.
Coaches was like,
the
nothing.
buzzer about to-
You get ready to pull, the coach is like, you better think about that. You're like, whoa. So that was the hardest part of playing at that time period. I look at it now, I'm like, man, I could play it so much longer. Because they just changed it all up.
I mean, it's a
Saving
development
legs.
piece too, because of course, most of the bigger guys was coordinated a little different. I guess is the proper way of saying it.
I would say that.
And the guys that were shooters, but they probably didn't have an inside game. You know what I'm saying? They could shoot outside, but they couldn't shoot.
They weren't a post player.
Right.
well, like Maker, he's one of the top high school guys right now. He's 7'1", but
that's
he's
right.
playing like guard. He plays outside at 7'1", and he's shooting threes, step back threes. It's just craziness.
Well, you look at it this way. I mean, you look at King James, 13 years in the season. Last 2-3 seasons is now where he's developing a whole different post game where he didn't have that prior. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing great about basketball.
I guess.
That's that smart
Always
part. When your
adapting.
knees start to go, you got to change it up.
Yeah, well, like Kobe, that's why Kobe went with Olajuwon and started doing the post
Start
game.
doing working in football.
Jordan, the same thing.
Yeah.
So let's get on to some reality. Coach, let's talk about P4E, man. How you been? You haven't been here in a minute, so
Yeah, I
catch
missed
us
this
up.
place. Even missed this guy. But
I'll send you a Hallmark next time.
hey, please do. But P4E's been on and popping. Our championship games next week, the 18th. Two really good squads going to go at it. Also in the Pro-Am League and Undisputed, we're the top seed. So we play in the quarterfinals this Saturday, so we should have an easy run to at least to the final. Mm-hmm. And coaching the women's Drew and had a couple baptisms, which made my birthday amazing.
So for Doc, who just our guest, P4E, we know every week we know all the phenomenal things you do. So what's the elevator speech now for P4E? If you had to, here's a prior athlete, may have some friends.
Might have a good knee.
P4E uses basketball as a vessel to share about the Jesus and share love. And it's low key. It's all about relational and put on a good league, good competition, one of the best leagues in California. Yet we're different. They ain't gonna be cussing. If there's a cussing, they're gonna tee and they sit. But guys keep coming back. It's gonna be a safe environment for families. and we let God work. And he does all the work. We don't have to do it.
Pray before the game.
Pray
after
before
the
and
game.
after. That's the only thing I make them do. And they just have to be in the circle. They don't even have to.
You know,
pray.
the really thing is that we get that, but it resonates so much when you meet these guys in regards to their attitude, how they just see things maybe different that they did before, and they just feel real proud to come play for you.
Yeah, that's been one of the coolest things about being part of this show and having the guys on the show is, and not being there, not being here. Because I actually get to listen while I'm setting up the gym, which is kind of cool because I'm the only one there. And hearing the guys like Ollie last week and Paul a couple weeks ago just share how they feel about P4E and how it's meant to them, it makes it all worthwhile. Because I don't necessarily hear that from them, but to hear it, you know, broadcasted out is just amazing. It makes it all worthwhile. Because that we're actually, you know, doing what we're supposed to be doing.
And don't brush over the coaching of the women's Drew. What do you want to say about that?
It's just a really cool experience.
Yeah, we need to get
Bi
some
Black
of those.
Atai and Aisha asked me to do it. She played with me in the Venice Basketball League and asked me to bring a spiritual side to the team. And I'm coaching with Bobby Chamberlain. He runs Aviator Basketball, somewhere we need to get you connected with. He actually coached the VBL team that went to China and won the 150K. And he coached Buddha in the 3-on-3. So he's a good coach, and we just been trying to get through it. And coaching women's a whole different ball game.
But you got to
Get it all in their feelings, and we're trying to navigate that. And yet, girls, the ladies, are thinking. Some of them think they're better than they are. Some don't think they're as good as they are. So just navigating
with all that.
It's a whole. It's making us all a better coach, I believe.
confidence and egos.
Yeah.
Did any coaching, coach?
No, not really. Just my son's team, just a small. Yeah, but no time for that. They want you all day, every day.
No
I
joke.
got a job too.
So we got to give a is it confirmed that we can give a shout out to our boy Smooth Wes?
Wes is in. He's on the Tijuana. I forgot the team name, but in Tijuana, he's going in a couple weeks. So he'll be on the show, I believe, next Monday.
Next Monday.
Okay.
We'll see if that happens. But
So let's do this. There's a list, right?
Yes.
Do you remember everybody? Like, can we get like the last 5
the
dudes that went
Piranhas.
somewhere?
that beat on the show.
Piranhas.
That just actually got signed. So his league has got guys overseas, you know, because they've been chasing the dream, and they're in that mid 20 to 30 range, and they're still chasing the
Still won't let it
dream.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
well, Wes got signed with Tijuana. We have another guy, JT. He just came back from a trip in Mexico. Drew has a good chance he's going this week to Mexico to get his dual. If he gets his dual, he's automatic in Mexico today. He'll get a contract because they have so much money they could pay non-Mexicans. And he'll be considered, even if he's half Mexican, he's going to be considered. So he
is.
He's automatically
So
in. He's half.
He's happy.
He just has to get his paperwork in check because his dad
Right.
changed his name, and
Right,
so it's
right.
kind of legalistic right now. Adam
Adam
played in
over there.
Denmark. He played in Thailand.
Who went to Barcelona?
That was the other guy that was coming
Okay.
from the other organization. But
but
forgot his
Adam,
name. Adams just got done. He went to the NBL in Canada and balled out. He was the best player over there, they said. And so he's just waiting for the
he
draft.
Might get picked up in the draft.
He's in another draft that I'll keep it low key. So Adam does his thing. He's just grinding all on his own. He's with Meta on the new thing that they got going on. He was just playing San Diego Kings, which is a U.S. pro team, yesterday. So he balled out there. He's been killing it. And then Antonio Bigelow. He was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
He just got signed in his second year in Canada. One of the best point guards in Cali.
Giving all you cats shout outs, man. We need front seat tickets when y'all get here to the Staples Center.
For
Get
real.
here to the Staples Center. We just want to be on the flow, man. That's it.
For real, but
That's what it's about, though.
Drew's the
Chasing
next
hoop
one.
dreams.
We're gonna get him there.
Yeah.
And Buddha's not doing the pro thing, but he's killing it with modeling, and the sweater's amazing, comfortable.
Yeah,
You all need to rock one.
If it's missing, call me, man. I like white too.
I might. Hey, if
I
you
like
can rock
the
it
white
2X, I got you.
sweatshirts.
Did you have a Chasing Hoop Dreams back in the day?
Oh yeah.
What was yours?
I played as long as I could till I got hurt in the CBA.
Yeah.
So I went from college to playing in the CBA, and was injured in the CBA, and that's what took me into doing medicine.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Knee or
So let's kind of back
It was
up
a
a little
knee-jerk.
bit. Why don't you just introduce yourself to the world that's out there?
Dr. Mel Braxton, and I practice in Culver City, California, as a chiropractor, sports medicine, and do everything. But I kind of focused on sports because playing sports, I was like, once I got injured, I was like, well, maybe I can help guys that still playing or get injured and want to go or So that was what kind of directed me that way.
I'm a mental toughness guy, so you made it all the way to there. How did you deal with that mentally when you're during the injury?
That was the hard part because I thought when I got hurt in Cedar Rapids, I literally was bent over and couldn't stand up. Mm-hmm. And
So it was a back injury.
It was a back injury. I went up for a shot, kind of turned back and was dipping it like that, and the guy hit me in the chest and flung my legs up and I landed. So when I went to get up, I was like stuck. And they got me to the side, and they were like, well, there's nothing we can really do. And I'm like, well, okay, but where's the doctor? Can I see, They were like, nah, there's nothing we can do. You can go home now. And like, it's like that. It's just like cut on the spot. So I flew back, and my uncle was a chiropractor here. Mm-hmm. And my dad said, well, why don't you go see your uncle? So I went and seen him and started rehabbing, and he was the one that got me standing and actually being able to walk and run. And so I was still thinking, I'm going to make it back. I'm going to play again. Mm-hmm. So I was doing the Drew League, and I still had the Crenshaw League at that time. They had all of those still going. And as I got hurt and started to rehab, running past 5 minutes was just like not happening. Yeah. So it was a slow process. So then my uncle said, well, what are you going to do? Like, what's going to be your next step? Because it don't look like that's going. So I was like, well, maybe I can do some sports medicine or do something. And that's kind of where it took me.
So we're going to take a break with that being said because he's at the, WJ Med Spa. We're going to bring Milan on and talk more about the Med Spa and what you do and how phenomenal this guy is in regards to medicine and sport. So
let's go. Take us out. We'll be right back. Sports Collective TV.
AskElia.com. Media marketing experts here to help you grow your business into the next level and boost your sales. Visit us to learn more. AskElia.com.
Coming to you live November 16th from the West Angeles Performing Arts Theater, it's Hope Arise, the musical, starring Rosemary Smith Coleman, Lamont A. Coleman of Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots. A compelling story about Dee, a gritty 10-year-old from the Chicago South Side neighborhood who fights to evade a life of abuse, poverty, and despair by commandeering freedom and love from a family she seizes as her own. You don't want to miss Hope Arise. Get your tickets now at eventbrite.com or give us a call at 323-733-8707.
Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rep.
Yeah, so my name is King Q. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I'm an empowerment speaker. I'm a youth advocate, and I'm a host. I do a multitude of different things. Event producer, spoken word artist. Got to plug that as well. So
so it's good to have these organizations that are creating events that are organically to be able to get people to socialize, to communicate, to talk. Where do you get all that mental toughness?
For me, it's been learned throughout trial and error, to be honest. About 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, I made a decision, and I said I don't want to do anything that's not in alignment with my purpose. In order to reach purpose, you have to go through trial. Mm-hmm. So for me, I just learned to embrace the trial, and for me, my trial, my rock bottom was homelessness. So that gave me a whole nother level of mental toughness.
Voice out west, legendary self-made progress. Last time that I checked.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back on Sports Collective TV. You're looking at Millie Music Official, and I'm here with Dr. Braxton, the gorgeous Dr. Braxton. What's going
thank
on?
you for that. That's very sweet of you.
Yeah. So I heard you say that you practice sports medicine as well as chiropractic.
Yes, sports medicine, chiropractic, and just full overall health. So
Okay.
I put it kind of an emphasis more to sports practice because I played sports, and so that was kind of where I started my thing.
Right.
But I take all kind of cases, car accident cases, slip and falls, pole
Even
dancers.
even damsel in distress.
Damsels in distress.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
I had the opportunity of visiting WJ Med Spa last week, Wednesday, and I got a bunch of different stuff done. I got to see him and some other practitioners. This guy, I mean, I feel like 2 inches taller.
Stretched you out a little bit.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die at the neck part, but
Well,
you know,
your
'cause,
body
you know,
compresses through time and age.
Yeah,
So
well, I'm
help rehydrate
hopefully
you and
I'm
stretch
not
you
my
back
age
out.
didn't compress too much.
No, it's just not life.
Yeah, so I feel very, I don't know. I feel
You feel
real,
more loose.
I
a little more
do. I feel like I
open
can.
and everything.
Yeah, I feel like I can do stuff that I wasn't doing for reasons of.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, awesome. Okay, so tell me, what is your favorite or your preferred client? Who is like your most the perfect client for you?
I like the ones that have gone places and still have the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little more interesting. I like the tougher thing, to be able to get what doesn't work to get it to work.
Right.
So they've tried this, they've tried that, and then.
So what was the most severe case of that if you've ever had?
Oh, I've had sciatica where you couldn't walk, your leg was frozen, your foot was starting to drop, and
Right.
treated that to where they actually were truthfully up and walking when they left, with considerably less pain from when they came in.
Okay, so give me a list of things. So you have the acupuncture, you have.
Well, the whole spa, the full spa ranges from the chiropractic. We do physical therapy. We do massage therapy.
Yeah.
We do stretching. We do. There's an esthetician that does facials.
She does.
And she
does a
got you
great
looking
job.
beauty, flossy and glossy. My son named his. And then there's also a Reiki healer that does Reiki, that talks to you and goes through a different portion of healing to let you release pieces of you that are in your past or things you don't even know that are holding you back. A lot of pain and a lot of things come from past when you were smaller and things that you don't even realize that you're holding on to, that's not allowing your body to heal or not allowing your body to really do what it's supposed to do.
Right. So you guys do go on the website and check out WJ Medical Spa. If you Google that, you'll find their website. They have a wide array of services, and it's more geared towards medical healing as opposed to just going to get, some hot stones on your back so you can feel sexy and all that stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
We do that to heal.
We heard that you guys are sponsoring the Harriet Tubman panel discussion with AskIlya.com.
Yes, we are, and we want everybody to come out and check it out. It's going to be an amazing event. Get your tickets online.
Eventbrite.com.
You get some free popcorn and a drink with that ticket, so do not miss it.
And we're almost sold out. So you guys,
don't wait.
Don't wait. What is there like? There's like 60 spots left. So
I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, just to break it down to a little bit, a smaller, list. You guys can get adjustments. There's sports massage.
There is sports massage. You can get full nice massage where you just want to relax. You can get just a specific for an injury. You can get stretched out if you are real tight and feel. A lot of times it's a lot of people that don't stretch that have more pain than anything. So when you do a nice good stretch, then you start to get the relief and things. So
yes, do go see this man, guys. I'm in my queendom right now because this man did some amazing things to me. So tell me, what made you come to WJ Med Spa? What is it about that place?
Actually, I've known Kim, who is the owner of the spa.
Shout out to Kim.
Yep, Big Kim. And so her mother used to run it. And unfortunately, her mother passed the last year, and she knew I was kind of in between places because the office I had in Culver City, the owner was closing that down. So she approached me and was like, look, I really want to keep my mom's thing going, but I want to turn it a little more medical and have a little more spa type of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, come and see if you'd like to, team up and let's do this.
All right.
And it just happened to be perfect.
She did a good job. You
Yeah,
guys
it's a
go
beautiful
to
place.
WJ Med Spa online. Check us out. You guys will be at the Regal Cinemas with us for the Harriet private screening. Thank you guys so much. As a sponsor, of course, you guys.
We are trying to do it
so
for
you guys gonna have a table and all that. You guys gonna
We're
tell
gonna
us.
be right out
So you
front
guys can come out and get more
speak to me
information.
personally.
Yes.
Big Lee will be there.
Yeah.
Big Lee's hands is
he'll be the biggest dude in the
there.
building if you're looking. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Sports Collective TV. We'll be right back.
AskElia.com. Media marketing experts here to help you grow your business into the next level and boost your sales. Visit us to learn more. AskElia.com.
Coming to you live November 16th from the West Angeles Performing Arts Theater, it's Hope Arise, the musical, starring Rosemary Smith Coleman, Lamont A. Coleman of Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots. A compelling story about Dee, a gritty 10-year-old from the Chicago South Side neighborhood who fights to evade a life of abuse, poverty, and despair by commandeering freedom and love from a family she seizes as her own. You don't want to miss Hope Arise. Get your tickets now at eventbrite.com or give us a call at 323-733-8707.
AskElia.com. Media marketing experts here to help you grow your business into the next level and boost your sales. Visit us to learn more. AskElia.com.
All right, welcome back to Sports Active TV. I'm your host and moderator, Ferran, aka WDC. Again, thank you for listening in. Again, it's Veterans Day, so we have actually our sponsor who is live in person with us, who's going to share with what she does for our pictures. So please introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you. My name is Ardina Brooks. My company is Designs by Ardina, and it is a photo art, photo restoration, and graphic design service. And I just want to say happy Veterans Day to all the servicemen and service ladies, women, and we appreciate, your service to our country.
So what inspired this business that you have? Give us some background.
Actually, I'm an artist from the beginning. Then I actually got into graphic design.
Wait, don't just brush over the artist. Was he a stick figure artist, or what were you drawing back then?
Actually, I was drawing, sketching. Started sketching. My aunt was a professional artist, so she took me in at about, 7 years old maybe.
Wow.
So I started there, then got into doing some painting, oil painting, and acrylic. Actually did my first mural in front of the White House.
Really?
Back in the
day. So you drawing
back in the day.
Faces, like what?
Yeah.
Like
I
ocean
do
background,
portraits.
okay.
My favorite is really doing landscapes.
Okay.
Yeah, I really love doing landscapes.
Okay.
So that's where I kind of got started from the beginning. Went to college, did a little bit there, and got married. Didn't do much. But really, what got me going, I got laid off from a job and went back to school and took up graphic design. So that kind of recharged me into getting back into the art field.
So would you say that art was a hobby back in the day?
Absolutely.
And now it turned into something that you have now as a career?
Right.
A lot of people don't get that. That's
Right.
how sometimes it plays out, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. definitely. In fact, the way that I guess we grew up, my dad was in the military, which I'll mention a little bit later. And I'm from Washington, D.C., so that's very political, the arena. Most of my family worked in the government, and I tried the government. It was not working for me. But, that's basically, back then it was like get a good job, go to school, go to college, get a good job, and climb the ladder. And I did all that, and it just wasn't working for me. So eventually I worked in the private industry. And like I said, got laid off, went back to school, and got back into doing my passion.
Any spirituality in the
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there would be no way for me to do what I'm doing. I mean, I believe God gave me this gift. And I believe we're all gifted with some gift. Yeah. We just weren't, like I said, brought up to know that gift is a part of our purpose.
Definitely. So
now that I'm where I'm at right now, I can look back, and I definitely like to encourage people, especially our young people, that those gifts that are in you are God-given gifts, and they're a part of your purpose.
And that's one of the things we're going to talk about on the segment coming up with Caldwell is that, I'm a definite example of that. Coming out of the military for 24 years, depressed, career's over, life is over, and then the hobby of Blog Talk Radio, and then here I am, go to school for it, and now I'm here in front of you on this radio, but it was actually just a hobby. It wasn't something that I was even looking to get involved in, and we want to help veterans discover what's next, because we have that camaraderie, we have all that stuff that we get from the military, and then once you're out of that environment, it's like, what do we do? And so Caldwell's going to we want to inspire veterans to figure out what's next. So I thank you for sharing that we are born with purpose, passions, gifts.
Right, absolutely.
And then if you believe that in your mother's womb that you had a calling on your life inside there, then it all comes to where you are today.
Right.
So what are you doing? What are you up to today as far as your artwork?
Today I'm in full-time business, 3 years now. I've been in business for almost 17 years, but I was working a job. So I should say retired. I resigned. I should be retired, but I resigned. And full-time business. I basically do a lot of vendoring. Any opportunities that I have to show my artwork. Had my first exhibit last December, which was exciting. Like I said, my aunt was a professional artist, so I kind of feel like, okay, now I'm rocking and rolling, where she inspired me to go. And I definitely want to shout out to my mom and my dad because they were both very instrumental into me getting where I am today.
What was your biggest risk in starting your own?
Going full time? No, really. I didn't have a lot of money. If I were to do it over again, I would do things a little different, because you got to plan what you're doing, they talk about a business plan, and of course that's important, but you have to have some strategic direction so that you're not out there wasting time,
So let's get right into today's art that you're producing for families, the memoirs. How do you want to describe that to the...
Basically I do portrait art. I do collages, and I call it just photographic art, taking photos, particularly the ones that need to be restored. Those are the ones that they're old, they're torn, they've turned yellow, they're cracking. Sometimes pieces are missing from the photos.
I got one, my piece of my little baby picture, the nose is missing.
Right. And it's putting it back together. And not only just putting it back together, but this is so that you can maintain or either preserve your heritage, your legacies, culture, all of that's in our photos.
But it's not just plain though. You get fancy with some materials, right? So what do you put these pictures on?
So basically, the idea of what I do is to preserve. And rather than just have them printed out on paper, I have them printed on acrylic, aluminum metal, and then also canvas for the traditional art lovers. But the reason for the acrylic and the aluminum metal is for longevity. I've been blessed to have some photos that my grandmother kept, and I'm able to now restore those and hopefully be able to pass those down for several generations.
So hold on. So if I have a Polaroid of my grandmother and me from 1978,
oh yeah,
you could put that on something and make it bigger?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always do tell people that I do need to see the photos.
Okay.
Polaroids fade.
Yeah.
They turn red. I can get the red out, but it's still good to see the photos to see how far they've gone to, because you can't restore everything.
How much of your business can you say about how you perform this work without giving it away? Like, what do you have equipment? Like, what do you, like, how are you doing this work?
Basically, it's digital. It's digital art.
Okay.
So I do that in the computer.
Okay.
Okay. My printing, I do outsource to have that printed. Okay. And that's basically
so
it.
you're just making people's art, pictures, longevity. Like, so I know my dad passed away in May, and I haven't really slowly addressing, the relationship with him being not here and not being here. And I have some art. I have some pictures that I eventually. Yeah, no, thank you. He had a great life,
awesome.
And so I can have a picture that I may want to have. He was a canvas guy. He was an artist himself, so he painted. Okay. So, how big of a canvas can you put these pictures on?
It actually depends on the resolution of what you give me. I do scan them at a high resolution so that I can make them bigger. But I just want to segue on what you said. Another reason that I got into what I'm doing too, I mean, a lot of people have, like me, they have photos that are stashed away in their garages and boxes, stuff like that. And what I started doing was making gifts out of these photos. So that was kind of like a beginning. But my dad passed. And my dad was in the military. He served in the Air Force. He made a career out of it. And I didn't get the opportunity to do the kind of artwork that I do now for him. So my mom, who's with me right now, I got her pictures everywhere because I believe we should first honor our families, our friends while they're alive. Yeah,
definitely.
Unfortunately, when they're gone, and we can still enjoy the memories of them. But I believe we should try to do what we can while people are here.
Make sure you give out your website too, so we can.
Yes, absolutely. It's designsbyardina.com. And my email is ardina@designsbyardina.
What's your favorite piece? Do you have a favorite piece?
Oh, my mom.
Is that right? Is that true, Mom? He says, yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite piece. That one is a digital fine art. I call it photographic fine art. So I actually have a painting software that I use for that. And it gives you that traditional painting look. And you actually have painting brushes that you use in the computer.
Oh, really?
So it's a skill. I'm still developing. But I'm doing pretty good.
What do you want people to take away from this conversation? What do you want them to know?
I think more than anything is just to realize that first of all, like we said, we're here for a purpose, and to just love your families and know that in your photos, those are, I mean, some photos, of course, are bad, but we do have photos that are memories that well, let me say it like this. Photos are a snapshot of a moment in time, and you can't get those moments back, but you can definitely continue to have those memories. And this is one way to do it, is to have the photographic art. And I take those photos and turn them into art. And there are different methods that I use to make them. I mean, it's actually awesome. It's really beautiful, if I have to say so myself. See them at the Harriet.
Absolutely. So you are a sponsor at the Harriet?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
yes,
so make sure you come out. If you got tickets, we'll be there. I'll be there myself. I have a Sickle Cell Trait Foundation.
Okay.
So we'll be there supporting the community as well. So
awesome.
Did I miss anything that you wanted to make sure people know about?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Website one more time?
Again is designsbyardina.com. And my email is ardina@designsbyardina.
Thank you for your partnership in this sponsorship
Absolutely.
too. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right. So again, Sports Selective TV, our community piece. We'll be right back because I still got Caldwell coming up here, so stay tuned.
Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rep.
Yeah, so my name is Ken Q. I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I'm an empowerment speaker. I'm a youth advocate, and I'm a host. I do a multitude of different things. Event producer, spoken word artist. Got to plug that as well. So
so it's good to have these organizations that are creating events that are organically to be able to get people to socialize, to communicate, to talk. Where did you get all that mental toughness?
For me, it's been learned throughout trial and error, to be honest. About 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, I made a decision, and I said I don't want to do anything that's not in alignment with my purpose. In order to reach purpose, you have to go through trial. So for me, I just learned to embrace the trial, and for me, my trial, my rock bottom was homelessness. So that gave me a whole nother level of mental toughness.
Voice out west, legendary self-made progress. Last time that I checked,
Keeping Our Lungs Safe has been part of the local initiatives that's been going on to educate our decision makers about, the impact of flavored tobacco, specifically menthol, in the African American community.
Right.
And so we actually were at the LA County Board of Supervisors office a few weeks ago where they were having a meeting to discuss an ordinance that would ban all flavored tobacco products and vaping products, including menthol, in certain areas of Los Angeles. And they actually ended up passing that ban.
So we finally got a tax passed, which was Proposition 56, and that was a couple of years ago. That put a $2 tax on cigarettes and vaping.
That's why they're so expensive.
Yes.
Thank
you
God.
Can pat me on the back.
So you thought that
slave trade. So when we see Harriet Tubman, we need to look at it from that lens, and that ever since then, this plant has been killing us in one way or another.
Right.
Coming to you live November 16th from the West Angeles Performing Arts Theater, it's Hope Arise, the musical, starring Rosemary Smith Coleman, Lamont A. Coleman of Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots. A compelling story about Dee, a gritty 10-year-old from the Chicago South Side neighborhood who fights to evade a life of abuse, poverty, and despair by commandeering freedom and love from a family she seizes as her own. You don't want to miss Hope Arise. Get your tickets now at eventbrite.com or give us a call at 323-733-8707.
AskElia.com. Media marketing experts here to help you grow your business into the next level and boost your sales. Visit us to learn more. AskElia.com.
All right, welcome back. Now I am retired Sergeant First Class Ferran Dozier. Again, 24 years military. Again, thanks to all of our veterans who served and who will continue serving. I have my guests here. You saw him here last week, Mr. Caldwell Williams. How you doing, man?
You missed the last name there, boy. I'm well, thank you.
So, it's Veterans Day. What do you want to say as far as today, before we get into our topics? What do you want to say about today?
I'd like to say more than thank you for your service, because that's said so often, and people wonder, what's next? And veterans have said to me, God, please don't say that to me. Yeah. And so action speaks louder than words. I'm interested in making known something that can be done to express thanks.
Right.
I crashed the Korean Embassy's anniversary party in Hancock Park this year. It's the 69th anniversary of the Korean War. And I went and knocked on the door. I don't look Korean. And I said, I am a Korean era United States Army veteran. Oh, welcome. And everybody, 300 people in the back, in this elegant backyard, 300 people with ribbons all over their and medals on their chests. Yeah. They didn't understand at all what I had to say because they're about 50 years in terms of their consciousness.
Yes.
But there was one person there, an elected Los Angeles City Councilman who grew up in Los Angeles, educated at UCLA, and so there was one person I could talk to. And I was saying to him, you guys have done well in Los Angeles. Businesses are thriving. Your home country has been saved. And you're expressing your thanks to the United States. How about thanking the kids who did the work that made this possible? And so...
And that's where we are right now.
That's where we are right now.
And how important this conversation we're talking about is because I'm wearing this shirt right here that 22 died for you. And on the back it has all the different stats about us, our veterans, soldiers who are committing suicide every day, which we know there's more than 22, but that's been the number that has been acknowledged. But we know that those numbers are higher. And so meeting Caldwell, the last about 2 years now, I've partnered with him to bring awareness with his program that he has to interrupt veteran suicide. So how much do you want to talk about as far as key points on the program?
Well,
what do you want to say?
I don't know, but what pops into my mind right now is I served when we were still conscripted. We were drafted until 1973 when it became an all-volunteer service. And I posited, who are these youngsters who choose the military? And I guessed rather correctly, not the commissioned officers. I'm talking about the kids who do the dirty work. Predominantly, they're young people who had particular challenges in their childhood growing up of some sort. And in their environment, the military seemed their best and sometimes only option to get out of those circumstances that were not very pleasant.
Right.
And the military does an excellent job of taking malleable young people and give them a purpose greater than themselves, saving the free world against some ism. Terrorism these days, it used to be fascism, or there's always an ism to fight. And you can have a role in that. Finding a purpose greater than yourself. In a community of peers who have your back. And so virtually every single veteran, male and female, experiences a strong or several strong love relationships. For some, the first time in their lives. So purpose, love, and do your job. You don't have to worry about anything else. We'll pick your underwear. We'll pick your socks. We'll do everything. All you have to do is do your job.
That's it.
And so now you feel really good about yourself. I have an identity. I'm a part of the greatest organization in the history of mankind. And now my 10 years up, military says, sign up for another term. We've got an investment in you. It's tough out there. No. I want to get on with my life. And I don't know what the percentage is, but for some young people, I'm going to do it myself. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm going to get on with it. And come out only to discover ill-prepared to navigate a sophisticated modern culture. The relationships fall apart. I thought I knew how to make friends. Well, the friend you made was in the bunk next to you. And now you've got to create that whole thing. But so relationships fall apart. You hit a wall. People don't want to hire you. What's wrong with me? And that's painful.
Yeah.
For after this high, it's painful. And for the unsophisticated young person, a reasonable remedy, get drug, drunk, stoned, so you don't have to feel the pain. And now the spiral, the downward spiral begins.
And how this correlates, not just with military, but if you also look at the athletic aspect of it, and a lot of times that athlete is to get out of that community is through some sport, which is the same kind of what they call now complex post-traumatic stress. Because if you could tell the difference between a firecracker and a 9mm gunshot, then you got to pay attention to that. So there are things in our environment as youth that we deal with, plus our own environments that we deal with, our homes, and then now you get.
Yeah, well, I would say remind you that not just you but everyone that the manpower for both professional sports and the military are the same kids from the same neighborhoods. Yeah. And those who had political prowess, had athletic prowess, went after sports. Those who had neither, the default position is the military. And once the careers are over, once the money is gone with a professional athlete, they're in the same boat as a military veteran.
Mindset-wise.
Trying to figure out who am I now and what do I do next. The gentleman who was on earlier talked about finding sports medicine. Mm-hmm. That's a fortunate discovery for him. I was speaking with someone recently who said, Caldwell, unpublished is a disaster that befalls retired Los Angeles City police officers when their career is over. Suicide rate is high. Not published.
Not published.
Well, I'm just saying.
Same identity type of.
Yes, that transition is tough for all humans.
And what do you want to say that you offer that can help interrupt this veteran suicide, this identity crisis?
I would suggest that you ought to do a show on remedy.
Okay.
Because remedy requires more than a sentence.
Okay.
And I'll use a sentence to introduce it. We've identified skills deficiencies. I call them foundation skills deficiencies that, when strengthened, enable a person to be more self-reliant in that navigation.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone recently who said, you mean life skills? I said, no, I'm more specific than life skills. Life skills include brushing your teeth and learning how to wipe your behind without getting... okay. Dialogue skills, organized systematic thinking and planning skills, and then skills to navigate change without feeling victimized. But that's for some future shows.
Right, and we're definitely going to have that. So before we wrap this up, I know we talked objectification on how when you objectify someone from being a person to being an object or an other, then...
Well, and since we were talking about the military and sports as well, the very heart of that brilliant strategy to transform this malleable kid into a killing machine who can kill without remorse or guilt is objectification. You're not killing another human. You're killing a gook. You're killing a terrorist. You're killing something. You're killing an other, whatever the other is of the day. And what the young, created person without guidance does, unwittingly, is objectifying whatever is his or her object. Yeah. Women, remember the Bill Gates get us and you're not the person over into their lives
in other ways.
In many ways.
Yes. And so the one I wanted to hit today was I was reading some information last night about how there was a Olympic athlete and she broke these records.
Oh,
and
yes.
so they
remember her name.
Yeah, Castor. Her first name was Castor.
Castor, yeah, I remember her.
And she, because she did so well, they actually tested her DNA and chromosomes to see if she had any male chromosomes. And so we were talking about it, and it was like, okay, so then, and it says they never tested men. right? And so we was running like, so what would happen if you tested a male and he had more female chromosomes? Like, what does that do? But then what came out of the conversation was being a tomboy, and then how people objectify so innocently on females to be and label them as tomboys, and then the things that go with that, on how they manifest that and deal with that. And now, because I play sports, I'm a tomboy, and then the labeling and all that. I mean, it's like we do it so subtly, but we don't understand the impact that it has on the person, and then the conversations that go with it.
Yeah. Evolution is evolution. We don't live very long, so it moves slowly for us, but it's really happening rapidly.
Yeah.
A little over a month ago, we buried my 95-year-old middle sister, who played basketball in high school. And they were so good that they went on tour. But in those days, girls basketball, girls could dribble only once. You had to pass after one dribble. And she was quick and fast, and so she was good at it. But the idea in those days of a girl dribbling all the way down the court was so masculine, it was unacceptable. And I don't remember when the change happened, but it happened in my lifetime. That's how rapidly we're evolving.
Yeah, and the impacts on being called a tomboy, again, it gets labeled as being gay because a female plays sports, now she's gay. Like all these things that...
As if there'd be something wrong with that.
Right, exactly. So what is the best thing that you could say as far as managing...
Well, present, and this delights me, present guidance and advice is discover who you are and be okay with that.
Yeah.
The diversity is really the nature of the universe.
Okay. So we're going to come back next week. We got 1 minute. Oh, that's it? All right. We're just going to wrap it up then? We good?
No, we got to have more than 1 minute.
Wrap it up.
Here,
come on up.
I want everybody to come up. Come on up. Everybody. Come on. Got 1 minute, y'all.
Let's do it. Make it happen. That's how we do it. It's live.
Moms, you can come up too. You come on. Yeah. Come on, my young friend. Hope, right?
Hope. Yeah. Hope. Come this way. Come this way. Yeah, yeah.
Millie.
Come in here, lady.
What you want to say, man?
Hey, it's really just about, you guys said it, it's more than just thank you for your service, it's us as human beings, and talking about memories and talking about taking care of your body and talking about, people changing their lives. I think this show represents all these different dynamics, on Veterans Day. So, my wish to everyone is just to continue to bless one another so we can just have a better world we can live in.
I agree.
You're here.
On that, we out of here again. Sports TV. Shout us out. What's the count?